From the return of Soldier Boy, the fate of Butcher and the virus, and Homelander finding out who his mom is, The Boys knowing its 5th season will be its last opens the door for some absolutely insane theories. Using clues from the show, we'll go over some of the wildest predictions on where the final season is headed. Will Stan Edgar return? Does Butcher have a secret baby with Queen Maeve? Where did Starlight run off to? And the fate of not only The Boys, but the entire United States hangs in the balance. I've left timestamps below so you can see all the topics I'll be covering, and if you're looking for a deep dive into the final episode, be sure to check out my season ending explained. By the end of season 4, Huey, Frenchie, Kimiko, and MM have all been captured by Vought, which has now become a sort of paramilitary arm of the US government. I wouldn't be surprised if Huey, Frenchie, and MM are all sent to the same prison, and that's where we start season 5. We already know Sister Sage and Homelander made a deal with Tech Knight for use of his prisons, so that's likely where they're headed. Kimiko, being a Soup, would most likely go to a different prison, one that is more equipped to handle Soup, so maybe she's off to a facility like Sage Grove. We heard Kimiko speak her first words as Frenchie is taken away. Will season 5 see a fully verbal Kimiko? The only remaining member of The Boys who's free, minus Butcher who's doing his own thing, is Starlight. She'll undoubtedly want to spring her friends out of jail, but will likely require the aid of some old friends. I could totally see her recruiting Soups like Queen Maeve, A-Train, Ashley, or even the Godolkin squad to help her in her rescue. Starlight had a special bond with Queen Maeve, which started a bit frosty when she first joined the Seven way back in season 1, but I imagine Maeve has got to be the first person Starlight goes to in asking for help. At the end of season 3, Maeve went into hiding after the battle at Vought Tower. As far as Homelander knows, she was killed in the blast, but with the revelation that Soldier Boy is still alive, will he wonder if Maeve is too? In an interview with Deadline, showrunner Eric Kripke said, quote, "We definitely won't reach the end of the series without seeing Maeve again." Kripke also stated that the end of The Boys season 4 will tie into the beginning of Gen V season 2. I imagine we'll see the consequences of Homelander's new world on Godolkin's campus. They probably won't have any more protests, and certain courses and teachers deemed a danger to the state will be removed. Traditionally, most college campuses are bastions for left-leaning and progressive thinking, but under Homelander's America, this will have to change. Aside from a brief cameo from the Guardians of Godolkin, Sam and Kate, the finale offers little insight into how else The Boys ties into Gen V. It's possible that Sam and Kate become members of the Seven. They were, after all, invited to Homelander's secret meeting at Vought Tower, in which he outlined his plan at taking over America. Season 4 provided little, if any, clues as to the fate of Marie Moreau, Andre, Jordan, and Emma. The last we saw them, they survived the massacre at Godolkin University, were framed for its killings, and woke up in this fancy hospital room with a vault-like door on the ceiling. I wonder if this means they are underground somewhere. Wherever they are, it seems they're safe. They're provided top-notch care and have access to both smoothies and their cell phones. The Gen V Soup who I think can have the biggest impact on The Boys finale is Marie. With all this talk of a soup-killing virus which works its way into the blood, could she use her blood manipulation to remove the virus from someone contracted with it? One of season 4's most shocking turn of events was Butcher's murder of Victoria Neuman and riding off into the night with this soup-killing virus. Butcher has basically given in to Joe Kessler, this manifestation of all his hatred towards Soups. At the end of season 3, Butcher was given a few months to live after his abuse of Temp V. With Butcher giving himself over to Kessler, I wonder if this means it's put a halt to the disease's progress. Kessler has made it no secret that he wants all Soups to die, so Butcher is likely taking this virus to turn it into its unstable form. Dr. Samir Shah told Butcher that an unstable version of the virus could turn airborne, wiping out every Soup on the planet. This is what Kessler wants, even if it means killing those Butcher loves the most. After Butcher tried to trap Ryan with the insane plan to train him to kill his father, it's looking more likely he'll never repair his relationship with him. The only way I see Butcher redeeming himself is if he sacrifices his life for Ryan's. Such a sacrifice would also fulfill his promise to Becca to protect her son. And there are two wildcards in Butcher's storyline going into Season 5. First is Becca herself, or at least Butcher's manifestation of her. I think we'll see her fight against Kessler in Butcher's mind, and hopefully she'll sway Butcher and potentially even take over his body with her own powers. The second wildcard is Maeve. In Season 3, Butcher hooked up with Maeve, which gives the possibility she could return pregnant with his child. And if this were a Soup baby, it could totally put a wrench in his plans to kill all Soups, as he would be condemning his child to die. After Grace and Butcher's betrayal of Ryan, I can't help but think he'll grow closer to Homelander. Even though they outed him as the mastermind behind the assassination, the downing of that transoceanic flight, and the assault of his mother, Homelander can no doubt find some bullshit excuse to explain his actions. Grace and Butcher's biggest fear was that Ryan would turn into his father, and that appears to be where the show is going. However, I believe Ryan's love for his mother and that empathy he has, which Homelander lacks, will be what ultimately sways him back from being evil. It's often joked that The Boys is basically the Homelander show, so it's fitting that with it coming to an end, so too will Homelander. As Homelander guides America deeper into fascism and he becomes more and more unhinged, the logical end for Homelander is his death. But just how will this happen? Some theories state that Ryan will kill him, but Grace and Butcher stated it would take a lot of training for him to do this. Then there's Soldier Boy, who attempted to kill Homelander in Season 3. But why would Homelander free a man just to have him try to kill him again? A third option is Butcher's virus. This could be airborne or passed via bodily fluids like breast milk. Dying by breast milk, while ironic, lacks the oomph a finale should have, so that's not likely. Then there's Butcher. We don't know exactly how strong he is with his new power, but a showdown between him and Homelander seems inevitable. Perhaps Season 4's most shocking revelation was Homelander finding his dad is still alive and held by the CIA. I don't think they would have made this big end credit scene just to have him stay on ice next season. That being said, why would Homelander want to bring the guy who tried to kill him back out? Well, we know that Soldier Boy would be an insanely valuable asset in Homelander's quest to take over America. What it really comes down to is if he would be able to control him, and there are several ways to do this. One, they could use Kate's power of persuasion to do his bidding. No doubt she'd be chomping at the bit to work alongside her teenage crush. Second, they could wipe his mind completely. Third, Sister Sage. Sage said she cured cancer and could solve global warming, so don't think it's out of the realm of possibility she could find a way to bring Soldier Boy to their side. Another wild theory is that Stan Edgar is Vought founder and creator of Compound V, Frederich Vought. In Season 2, we saw how much Stan admired Vought, which is kind of weird considering Vought was a literal Nazi who would be rolling in his grave if he knew a person of color was the head of the company. Stan has a painting of Vought in his office and was responsible for putting another Nazi into the 7, Stormfront. And what better way to disguise the fact you're a Nazi than by taking on the appearance of a person of color? This theory would suggest Frederich Vought, not Stormfront, was the first person to take Compound V and survive, and perhaps he has powers which allow him to take on different appearances as well as an increased lifespan, similar to how Stormfront rarely ages. The theory may also mean that Stan Edgar has been secretly working with Stormfront for years in their quest to create a true master race. This would explain why Stan allowed his wife to have a relationship with Homelander. In fact, it was all part of the plan to create the perfect genetic soldier by keeping the blood pure. Homelander himself was created in a lab for such a purpose, using the sperm of the greatest hero known to man, Soldier Boy. But something doesn't add up. Homelander is told his mother was just a nobody. But why? If your goal is to create the perfect soldier, why use some random? Why not use the most powerful female soup of the time, which would have been Liberty, aka Stormfront? Also, Liberty's disappearance also lines up with when Homelander would have been born. It may also partly explain why Homelander has such mommy issues. But the thing I like most about this theory is the implications it has for Homelander if he were to find out. Imagine he found out he was banging his mom and all this was kept from him. We know he absolutely hates secrets. If true, this is what I think would put Homelander over the edge to destroy all of humanity. One of my favorite characters on the show is Vought CEO Ashley Barrett. In an act of desperation, fearing for her life, she ends up taking Compound V. It's most likely she survived this considering Homelander didn't find her corpse when he returned to his apartment. Ashley will likely be scared and go into hiding, but I could see her eventually teaming up with the boys. We also don't know what her powers are, so that will be fun to look forward power to. Ashley must also have tons of dirt on Homelander and Vought, dirt she could use. A-Train stumbled on Ashley snooping around Homelander's apartment in episode 4. If she wasn't stealing Compound V here, then what was she doing? Maybe she's collecting more and more damning evidence against the man who wants her dead. At the end of season 4, we also see Zoey headed for Red River, the home for orphan soups which her mother and Marie Moreau attended. I doubt she'll be here for long, as she has Stan Edgar still out there who could pick her up. He made a deal with the boys that never panned out to get custody of her. Then there's her actual father, Dr. Samir Shah, who escaped captivity from the boys. The real woman running the show is Sister Sage, who orchestrated this entire coup behind Homelander's back. Expect her to make a return to the Seven to commence what she calls Phase 2. If Phase 1 was taking control of the White House, Phase 2 must have to do with wielding that power. We know from her backstory that she hates humans, so I think her end goal is to lock every human up and make way for the future of soups. Finally, some random predictions for you. Huey will actually propose to Starlight. Starlight will become one of the strongest soups, and she'll use her powers at levels never before seen. Firecracker will die, and the American way of life as we know it is forever changed as the land of the free descends into fascism. But what theories and predictions do you have for season 5? I want to hear them all in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and for more bad takes you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember...
Now, who wants their balls crushed?